Be me, 28, marketing coordinator. Spend most of my free time reading feminist literature and discussing patriarchal structures with friends. Firmly believe that modern dating is designed to exploit women. Think most men only want physical relationships and don't value women's intellect. Meet David at a work conference last spring. He's a software engineer, seems genuinely interested in my thoughts on workplace equality. Actually listens when I explain how the tech industry systematically undervalues women's contributions. Most guys roll their eyes when I bring up these topics, but David asks thoughtful questions. We exchange numbers, and he texts me later that day, asking if I'd like to get coffee. Immediately suspicious, because most men just want to rush into physical stuff. Decide this is the perfect opportunity to conduct a real-world experiment. Going to make him wait 6 full months before any physical intimacy. Not just sex, but kissing, hand-holding, even prolonged hugging. This will prove whether he actually values me as a person or just sees me as a conquest. Meet him for coffee the next week. He brings up our conversation about gender dynamics in tech. Seems genuinely interested in my perspective on how women have to work twice as hard for recognition. When he walks me to my car, he leans in for what's obviously going to be a goodbye kiss, turn my cheek, and give him a brief side hug instead. I believe in taking things very slowly, David. I hope you can respect that. He looks confused, but nods. Of course, Jessica. Whatever makes you comfortable. Already planning how I'll document this experiment. Going to prove that 99% of men will lose interest once they realize they can't get physical gratification immediately. Second date is dinner at a nice Italian place. Spend most of the meal explaining my philosophy on relationship progression. Society conditions women to give away physical intimacy too quickly, which devalues our worth in the relationship dynamic. David listens patiently while I outline how the patriarchy has weaponized physical attraction. Explain that I refuse to participate in systems that reduce women to sexual objects. I want to know that someone values my mind, my personality, my achievements before anything physical happens. He agrees this makes sense, though I can tell he's trying to process it all. When he drives me home, he goes for another kiss. Turn away again and explain that I meant what I said about taking things slowly. How slowly are we talking? He asks. 6 months minimum. I need to know your intentions are pure. See the surprise flash across his face. 6 months, without any physical intimacy whatsoever. If you truly care about me as a person, you'll understand why this is important. He sits quietly for a moment, then nods. Okay, I respect your boundaries, Jessica. Feel triumphant as I walk into my apartment. This is going exactly as expected. He's already showing signs of discomfort. Probably won't even make it 2 weeks before he reveals his true nature. Week 3, and David is still texting me every day. Asking about my work projects and how my presentation to the board went. Seems genuinely interested in my ideas for improving gender representation in our marketing campaigns. Takes me to an art museum for our 3rd date. Spend the entire time explaining how classical art perpetuates male gaze theory. Point out how Renaissance paintings consistently objectify the female form. David actually engages with these concepts instead of dismissing them. When we're looking at a Botticelli, he asks thoughtful questions about how modern advertising uses similar techniques. Starting to think he might be different from other guys, but still maintaining my boundaries because this is about proving a larger point. Month 2, and he's still planning elaborate dates. Takes me to lectures at the university about women's history. Brings me books by authors I mentioned liking. Always walks me to my door, but never pushes for more than a brief hug. Sometimes catch him looking frustrated when I pull away. Good. This proves my theory that men are primarily motivated by physical desire. He's probably struggling with his base instincts, but trying to hide it. During our dinner at month 3, decide to really test him. David, can I ask you something personal? Sure. Are you seeing anyone else? He looks genuinely confused. No, Jessica. I thought we were exclusive, aren't we? Well, I need to know that you're not just waiting for me while getting physical satisfaction elsewhere. See him tense up slightly. I'm not seeing anyone else. I thought I'd been clear about my interest in you specifically. It's just that most men can't handle waiting this long without, I'm not most men. Feel slightly guilty for testing him, but remind myself this is for science. Need to document how patriarchal conditioning affects even seemingly progressive men. Month 4 brings an interesting development. David starts initiating deeper conversations about relationships and emotional intimacy. Talks about his past relationships and how they often felt superficial. Says he appreciates that we're building something based on intellectual connection. I've never had someone challenge my thinking the way you do, Jessica. Feel a weird flutter in my stomach when he says this. Quickly remind myself that this is still an experiment. He's probably just saying what he thinks I want to hear. Men are conditioned to adapt their behavior to get what they want. This is exactly the kind of manipulation I'm trying to expose. Month 5, and something strange is happening. Starting to genuinely look forward to our dates. David has become incredibly thoughtful about planning activities he knows I'll enjoy. Takes me to a lecture series on workplace equality. Buys tickets to a play written and directed entirely by women. Remembers small details about things I care about. When I mention struggling with a difficult client, he follows up days later to ask how it went. Finds myself actually enjoying his company beyond just proving my point. This wasn't supposed to happen. Remind myself that emotional manipulation is just another tool of the patriarchy. He's probably love-bombing me to lower my defenses. Month 5.5, something feels different. David seems slightly more distant during our last few dates. Still plans nice evenings, but conversation feels forced. Catch him checking his phone more often. When I ask if everything's okay, he says he's just stressed about work. Probably getting impatient about my boundaries. This is exactly what I predicted would happen. Men can only pretend to value emotional connection for so long. Feel vindicated that my experiment is revealing his true nature. Also feel weirdly disappointed. Was starting to think he might actually be different. Approaching the 6-month mark and planning my grand reveal. Going to tell him that I'm finally ready for physical intimacy. Then document his relief and enthusiasm as proof that this was always his primary motivation. Already drafting notes about how even seemingly progressive men are ultimately driven by sexual desire. Plan a special dinner for our 6-month anniversary. Book a reservation at the restaurant where we had our second date. Spend extra time getting ready, wearing my nicest dress. Feel nervous in a way I wasn't expecting. David picks me up exactly on time but seems subdued. Conversation during dinner feels stilted. He's polite but distant, like he's going through the motions. When I bring up how much our relationship has grown over the past 6 months, he just nods. David, is something wrong? You seem different tonight. No, everything's fine, just tired. Decide this is the perfect moment for my revelation. I've been thinking a lot about us lately, about our physical boundaries. See him look up with interest for the first time all evening. I think I'm ready to move to the next level. The past 6 months have proven to me that you value me for who I am. Expect to see excitement, relief, maybe even some triumphant male satisfaction. Instead, he just nods slowly. That's nice, Jessica. I'm glad you feel comfortable. His response is completely flat. Where's the enthusiasm I was expecting to document? I mean, I'm saying we can be physically intimate now. Isn't that what you've been waiting for? Sure. That's great. Feel confused by his underwhelming response. This wasn't how this was supposed to go. He drives me home in relative silence. When we reach my apartment, I turn to face him. Would you like to come up? He hesitates for a long moment. Actually, I'm pretty tired tonight. Maybe another time? Feel like I've been slapped. What man turns down an invitation like that after waiting 6 months? Are you sure? Thought, yeah, I should probably head home. Early morning tomorrow. Gives me a brief kiss on the cheek and waits for me to get inside. Spend the entire night analysing what went wrong. Maybe he's playing hard to get now that I've shown interest. Probably some kind of power move to regain control in the relationship. Typical male behaviour when they feel like they're not in charge. Text him the next day, asking when we can see each other again. He responds several hours later, saying he's busy with work this week. Offers to call me instead of making concrete plans. Red flags everywhere, clearly trying to punish me for making him wait so long. Week passes with minimal communication. David responds to my texts but doesn't initiate conversation. When he does respond, messages are brief and polite but lack the warmth they used to have. Suggests several date ideas and he's non-committal about all of them. Maybe next week becomes his standard response. Starting to panic that my experiment has backfired. Wasn't supposed to develop actual feelings for him. Was supposed to remain emotionally detached and analytical. But now, I'm checking my phone constantly, waiting for his texts. Finally, call him directly after 10 days of this behavior. David, we need to talk. Something has changed and I want to understand what happened. Nothing's changed, Jessica. I've just been really busy. But we used to see each other twice a week minimum. Now, I can barely get you to commit to a single date. Long pause. I don't know, I guess I'm just feeling less invested in this. Feel my heart drop. Less invested? What does that mean? I mean exactly what I said. I'm feeling less motivated to pursue this relationship. But I told you I'm ready for more intimacy now. Isn't that what you wanted? Another pause. Jessica, can I be honest with you? Of course. The past 6 months felt like a test, like you were constantly evaluating whether I was worthy of your attention. Feel defensive immediately. That's not... I was protecting myself, making sure your intentions were genuine. Right, and now that I've proven myself according to your criteria, I'm supposed to be grateful for the privilege of being with you. His tone is completely different from the patient, understanding David I've known. That's not fair. I needed time to trust you. 6 months, Jessica. 6 months of feeling like I had to earn basic affection. 6 months of walking on eggshells, afraid that any wrong move would prove I'm just another shallow guy. Starting to realize how badly I've miscalculated. But you said you understood my boundaries. You said you respected them. I did respect them. But somewhere along the way, I realized that this dynamic was never going to change. You were always going to be the one setting terms and conditions. Feel tears starting to form. So what are you saying? I'm saying that I don't want to be in a relationship where I have to constantly prove my worth, where physical affection is treated like a reward for good behavior. Voice cracking now. David, please. I know I made mistakes, but we can fix this. I don't think we can, Jessica. This isn't about the physical stuff anymore. It's about how you fundamentally view relationships. He hangs up, and I'm left staring at my phone. Spend the next 3 days crying and replaying every interaction. Realize I genuinely care about David in a way I wasn't expecting. Somewhere during the 6 months, stopped seeing him as a test subject. Started actually enjoying his company, looking forward to his texts, feeling proud when he achieved things at work. Had begun imagining a real future together, but treated the entire relationship like a political experiment instead of something real. Try calling him again after a week. Goes straight to voicemail. David, please call me back. I know I handled things wrong, but I miss you. I miss us. No response. Text him, asking if we can meet for coffee to talk. Message shows as read, but no reply. Feel completely desperate in a way that contradicts everything I thought I believed about relationships. Wasn't supposed to need male validation. Wasn't supposed to feel devastated when a man lost interest. But can't stop thinking about David and how he made me laugh. How he remembered that I take my coffee with oat milk. How he actually listened when I talked about my work frustrations. How he brought me soup when I was sick and didn't expect anything in return. Realized that somewhere along the way, he had become genuinely important to me. But I was so focused on proving my theories that I never showed him how much I cared. Treated him like he was lucky to have my attention instead of appreciating what he brought to my life. 2 weeks of no contact and decide to show up at his office. Wait in the lobby until he comes down for lunch. He sees me and looks genuinely annoyed. Jessica, what are you doing here? I needed to see you. You won't answer my calls. Because I don't want to talk to you. Feel like I'm going to cry in public. Please, David, just give me 5 minutes. I know I messed up. He sighs and agrees to talk outside. I was wrong about everything. About the waiting, about testing you, about treating our relationship like some kind of experiment. You treated me like I was guilty until proven innocent. Like every man who came before me. He's right, and it hurts to hear. I was scared. I've been hurt before and I thought if I could control the situation... You weren't protecting yourself, Jessica. You were punishing me for what other guys did to you. Break down completely. I know I was wrong, but I developed real feelings for you. Somewhere during those 6 months, you became the most important person in my life. See his expression soften slightly, but he doesn't step closer. If that's true, why did it take you 6 months to show any genuine affection? Why did every interaction feel like a performance evaluation? Can't answer because he's absolutely right. I don't know how to undo this, David, but I'm willing to try. He shakes his head. It's too late, Jessica. I spent 6 months trying to prove I was worthy of basic relationship things. I'm not doing that anymore. So that's it? You're just done? I'm done with whatever game you were playing. If you had genuine feelings, you should have shown them when it mattered. Watch him walk back into his building. Stand on the sidewalk crying while strangers walk around me. Realize that my experiment succeeded in exactly the wrong way. Proved that treating relationships like political statements destroys them. Proved that emotional manipulation drives away good people. Proved that I'm capable of losing something important through my own arrogance. Spend the next month in complete emotional freefall. Can't concentrate at work. Friends notice I'm not bringing up gender theory in every conversation anymore. Don't have the energy to lecture anyone about patriarchal structures. Just miss David's stupid jokes and the way he got excited about his coding projects. Miss how safe I felt when he drove me home. Miss having someone to share good news with. Realize I had someone who actually valued my mind and personality, and I threw it away because I was more interested in being right than being happy. Try online dating, but every guy feels shallow compared to David. No one asks thoughtful follow-up questions about my work. No one remembers details about conversations from weeks ago. No one makes me feel heard the way he did. 6 months later, hear through work connections that David is dating someone new. Apparently, they met at a coffee shop and hit it off immediately. See her photos on social media. She looks happy and natural with him. Photos show them holding hands, kissing, being affectionate in ways I never allowed. Feel sick realizing that he's giving someone else the patience and attention I took for granted. She gets to benefit from all the qualities that I spent 6 months testing instead of appreciating. Write him one final email. David, I know you're with someone new and I respect that. I just wanted you to know that you were right about everything. I treated you unfairly and I'm sorry. You deserved so much better than what I gave you. I hope you're happy. He responds the next day with a single line. Thank you for saying that, Jessica. I hope you find what you're looking for. Realize that what I was looking for was exactly what I had. Someone who cared about my thoughts and feelings. Someone who was willing to wait because he valued me as a person. Someone who brought out the best in me instead of just tolerating my worst traits. But I was so convinced that all men are the enemy that I couldn't recognize a good one when he was right in front of me. Spent so much time protecting myself from being used that I ended up using someone else. Treated David like he was another patriarchal oppressor instead of just a guy who liked me. Made him jump through hoops to prove he wasn't like other men, then acted surprised when he got tired of performing, still believe in gender equality and women's rights, but learned that treating individual relationships like political battlegrounds destroys them. Learned that you can't build intimacy while constantly testing someone's motives. Learned that real love requires vulnerability, not control. Most painfully, learned that by the time you realize what you had, it's often too late to get it back. David taught me what genuine care looks like, and I taught him that some people aren't ready to receive it. Now he's giving that care to someone who appreciates it from day one, while I'm left understanding exactly what I lost and why.